A very good morning, dear students. In this session 2, I am going to discuss on the chapter 6 object oriented programming. This is the sixth chapter in the computer science second year syllabus. In today's topic, I'll be discussing on inheritance, overloading, polymorphism, dynamic binding and message passing. So let us begin this class with the agenda. Okay, so today's agenda goes like this. So revision of all the topics which I covered in the class 1, that is in the session 1, and then inheritance, overloading, polymorphism, dynamic binding and message passing I will be discussing in this present session. Okay, so let us start this class with the recap of what I did in the previous session 1 class. So that is, you should know what is the object oriented programming, you should know what is object, what is class, and some of the basic elements which we discussed. Okay, so OOP, so that is object oriented program. So this is a kind of programming which we use to develop the programs by using some modular approach. Before and all, what there was only the structured programming and procedural programming was there, but now there is a modular approach is there which is used in OOP. So this you should know. So next is, you should know what is this object. So object is a real-time entity, or it is called as basic building block for designing any of the programs in OOP. Okay, so next you should know what is this class. So class is a collection of objects. So then what we discussed some of the basic elements of OOPs, that is data abstraction, data encapsulation we discussed. Okay, so here in data abstraction, we saw what we saw in the last class. We discussed the abstraction meaning, and we discussed what do you mean by data. So abstraction is what? It is hiding something. So here in data abstraction, we are hiding the data from the outside of the world. Okay, so that is the main theme of this data abstraction. When in perspective of this object, data abstraction means what? It allows the user to use an object without knowing its internal working. So that is, we never know what is the main thing inside, but we know what is external things. Like I gave an example, that is Android phone. In Android phone, you can see what you can see is, you can see all the icons, but you cannot know what is the circuits. You never know what is the code, the application which is developed. So it is none of your business. So there they have used this data abstraction concept. So next is this data encapsulation. So I gave some practical example, that was encapsulate tablet. So encapsulate tablet, what it does, in that what is there, data and functions both will be mixed. So that is, some particles will be mixed and some compounds will be mixed, right? So I think you all have taken at least once this encapsulate tablet. Okay, so here the same concept they have been used. Okay, so I think both data abstraction and data encapsulation concepts were clear. So let us move on to this today's concept. So that is inheritance. Okay, so this inheritance is what? It is a process of forming a new class from an already existing class. Okay, so understood, guys? Okay, so listen here. The process of forming a new class from an existing class is known as inheritance. Okay, so here you should know what is this existing class is known as. So this existing class means already which is there, so that class is known as base class. The new class is known as derived class or a subclass. So here I am showing this in a pictorial format. So this is this is a flowchart like diagram. So here you can see the base class. It is also called a superclass or a main class. So then from this, the derived classes are derived. Okay, so all this derived classes has the features of this base class, which is derived from the base class. Okay, so only it is called as derived class or a subclass. So I think you all understood. So inheritance means what? It is a process of forming a new class from already existed class. Okay, dear students. So then you should know what is the use of this inheritance. So inheritance means reusability. So you should keep this word in mind. Inheritance means, the use of inheritance is reusability. In the real-time world also, this concept of reusability is widely used in all the applications development. So whatever we have this superclass or base class properties, so those base class properties will be derived into the subclasses without wasting much time to develop the scenarios for this derived classes. Okay, so I think this you understood the inheritance concept. So next we shall move on to the next concept. So that is overloading. So overloading is what? So overloading allows the objects to have different meaning depending upon the context. Okay, so what is this depending upon the context means? You can have overloading with two kinds. So with two ways you can have the overloading. So one is operator overloading, another one is function overloading. So students, I think you have understood. So what is the operator? Operator, it is what? It is a symbol, or it is not an operand. It just does some work. So that is operator. What do you mean by operand? The operand is just a variable. Okay, operand is a variable, operator is a symbol which does the function, okay, on the particular operand. So here you should know what is this operator overloading. You should know what is this function overloading. Okay, students, so let us know this operator overloading. So as I told, operator is what? It is a symbol. Overloading means what? It means doing both the work, doing some work or doing some task is known as overloading. So meaning, definition of operator overloading is when an existing operator operates on a new data type, it is called as operator overloading. So here you can see that when an existing operator, so I'll consider the operator as plus. So here I'll consider the operator as plus, so which does the addition Okay, so what do you mean by overloading? Overloading in the sense it is just doing the task. So plus, what is does? Plus, what it will do is it will do addition. Okay, so in order to add the functions, add the variables, you should use the plus operator. So here I am using the data types as int, float and double. Okay, so here you are overloading the operators. Understood? So with this plus operator, you are overloading the already existing data types. So that is int, float and double. So I think you all understood. So next concept is function overloading. So function means what? It is a method, so which returns some value, which doesn't return some value. There are 4 types of functions in the first year syllabus you all have read. Okay, so here you should overload that functions. Means 2 or more functions has same name but differ in the number of arguments but differ in the number of data type. Okay, so it may be a different in the arguments or it may be different in the data types. Okay, students, so let us overload these functions. Okay, so I am using one function, that is add. So add function, here I am using 3 functions. So here you can see all these 3 functions has same function name. So what is it? It is a add. Okay, and it is having a, in first function it is having a 3 arguments, second function it is having a 4, third function it is having a 5 arguments. So here you are overloading the function add with respect to the arguments which is of same data type. Okay students, so you have understood, I think. Overloading means performing a task. Operator means which does some job. Function means what? It is a return type content. Okay, it will have some braces, methods and all. It is called as function. In the first year syllabus you have gone through. So function overloading means it will have 2 or more functions, but with respect to arguments or with respect to data type it will be varied. Okay students, so let us move on to the next concept though. So that is polymorphism. So here you all should know what is the meaning of poly. Poly means many. So many. So you should keep this word in your mind. So wherever you see polymorphism, there you are acting with, you are seeing with many things. Okay. So here see the definition goes like this. The ability of an operator or a function to make multiple forms is known as polymorphism. Okay. So the ability to show how the operator or a function, it can happen in 2 or more ways. Okay, so that goes one definition. The next definition, you can even define polymorphism like this also. A single function or an operator functioning in many ways depend upon the usage is called as polymorphism. Consider one operator. So one operator can be acted in both the ways. Okay, so here I'll be choosing one real-time example. So let us see this example. So after you know this example, this polymorphism concept will be understood. So assume you are having a new, you got a new friend. So you have to save his or her number in your mobile. So in your mobile you have to save his or her number, means you have to save with their name and with their number. So then what you have to do is you have to either save their one number, either you can save their both the numbers. So the context here is you have to save their number. Okay, so you have to create a contact. So here the create contact is what? The function name. Okay, so name and number. So name and number is called as arguments. So in the function with respect to number 1, so there are only 2 arguments. With respect to function, with respect to number 2, there are 3 things, 3 arguments: name, number 1, number 2. Okay, so here the context is, here the thing is you are only saving the contact, but you can save in a 2 ways. So you are saving in a many ways. So this is a polymorphism real time, one example, simple example to make you to understand. Okay dear students, so I think you all understood what does the polymorphism means. So polymorphism is what? It is an ability of an operator or a function to take multiple forms. Okay, so next thing is you should know the real-time example for inheritance. So as I told in the previous slide, what is this inheritance? So inheritance is what? Extracting a new class from already existing class. So here, so I'll consider a base class or a super class as mobile. Okay, so this mobile, you all know the mobile. So mobile is used for calling, mobile is used for text, mobile is used for getting the information. Many things are there. So now you should know this in this context of inheritance. So I am just taking Samsung and Nokia mobile as my derived classes, and Samsung S5 and Nokia Lumia 625 I'll take it as some derived classes too. Okay, so here mobile is the base class. Samsung and Nokia and Samsung S and Lumia 625 are the subclasses. So for the Samsung mobile, it is the derived class 1 and Nokia is the derived class 1. And the derived class or the subclass for the Samsung is Samsung S5 is Samsung S5. Okay. So here you are extracting all the information, all the properties from the Nokia mobile, and it is transferred to the Nokia Lumia 25. So what I mean is, in the Nokia basic set, what you can do is you can either text or you can either call, or just a basic features will be there in the Nokia mobile. Is it right? So what you are doing in the Nokia Lumia 625, it is a Windows version or it is upgraded OS it will be having. So with the help of that, you can perform all the activities related to internet. Is it right? So in the Nokia Lumia mobile, even you can call, even you can message, you can get the information which was there in the Nokia mobile. So what I mean is, you can extract all the information which is there in the Nokia to Nokia Lumia 25. Okay, basic things which is there you can extract. Same way, similarly for Samsung mobile also. So you understood, I think. So using this mobile concept, mobile, if you take the mobile, the derived mobiles will be same. If you take this human bodies itself, both the parents will have the characteristics of the sorry guys, the children will have the characteristics of related to the parents. So this is the best example to understand the inheritance concept nicely. Okay students, so I think you all have understood inheritance, polymorphism, overloading, and the rest of the concepts will be discussed in the next classes. Okay students, thank you.